Hello and welcome to my video review of the Ace Combat 6 Ace Edge Limited Edition package, which comes with the Ace Edge flight stick and throttle controls. The package was only ever released in the United States for a limited time only, and 10,000 copies were only ever made. Therefore, the package is extremely rare and extremely expensive, and the only way you can really get it now is on eBay, where I bought this one. I got it brand new for a ridiculous amount of money. So that is the box. It comes in pretty big box, and let's have a look what you actually get inside. So here is the game, still brand new sealed, as it's the NTSC version, and I have absolutely no news for it whatsoever. That's on side, and you get a limited edition Ace Combat 6 faceplate, which apparently you can only get with the Ace Edge bundle of the game. You also get obviously the flight controls, the throttle, and the joystick as well. And you also get a grip, which is basically this chunk of rubberized plastic here. Now that is for people who don't have hands the size of the Incredible Hulk. So what it is, basically you just get this patch here, which has an adhesive sticky pad underneath, which you can stick onto the bottom here to bulk it up a little bit and just to make it easier to hold. So if I just give you demonstration, it just makes it easier to grip, makes it nicer to hold. You also get 8 suction pads which are underneath, which secure it to the table or the surface that you'll be playing on. It doesn't actually come with a manual, because if you go back to the box, spin it around, all the instructions on how to operate the flight controls and the throttle are actually all detailed on the back of the box. Okay, how to get the grip on there. Okay, so everything's there, so there's no manual. So let's go back to the sticks themselves, and the first thing that we're doing deal with in the review is how they look and feel. And I think everyone can agree that both the throttle and the flight stick, they look really cool. They look very nice when you first take them out of the package. They are quite impressive to look at. They look quite expensive and well made. If we just give you a shot all the way around, so that's how it looks side on. That's the front view. And there's the side as well. Okay, so it's a nice looking piece of kit. It does look expensive, which it is. And it looks pretty cool. Okay, as for the stick itself, the A button, which is here, is used to fire your machine gun. You've got your B button, which is used to launch missiles, your X button, which is used to access the map, your Y button toggles through your targets, your R button, which is here, that's your R button, which activates your autopilot. You've got a D-pad here, just for scrolling through the menus. You've got your right joystick for changing your camera view. The right joystick as well is quite sensitive. You've got your start button located on the front, which is there. Moving on to the throttle, you've got your Xbox guide button here as well. Moving on to the throttle, you've got the back button, which is used to select your special weapon. You've got another D-pad here. You've got a button here to select whether your mic is on or off when you're playing on Xbox Live for your chat. And you've got the LED display there detailing whether it is on or off. You've got the left button here, which is used to do high G turns. You've got 2 twiddly knobs here, which do absolutely nothing at all. It also says in instructions on the back that they do nothing, so I really don't know why they're there. If we go around the front, you've got what acts as the left joystick, this button here, and you've got your buttons left and right as well. Okay, so that's an explanation of all the controls. And you've also got your slot for your Xbox Live headset, which goes in there. Now, one of the things that I missed out on my review of the wireless racing wheel for the Xbox 360 is that when you actually do use it on Xbox Live, when you're chatting to your friends or whoever, you do actually get quite a loud hissing noise, quite a lot of background noise. I've tested this, and this doesn't do the same thing, so it is a lot better when you're using it for chat. Okay, so it looks pretty cool. That's all the controls. Generally, the feel of the controller is just as good. It feels quite sturdy, feels quite well made. But there are exceptions and there are some problems to this as well. Now, one of the main problem is the B button. The B button is definitely the button that you're going to be using most of the time throughout the game. It's the button that you use to launch missiles, which you'll do thousands of times throughout the campaign and thousands of times again through Xbox Live Play. And the button just feels quite cheap and plasticky. It doesn't have a good feel to it. The X and Y buttons are exactly the same, so they suffer from the same problem. It's just that the B button is the one that you use so often, and it just doesn't have a satisfying click to it when you push it down. It does feel quite cheap and nasty, really. The D-pad on the throttle, which is here, that tiny little stick there feels like it could drop off at any moment. It feels like it's been glued on, and it just feels very cheap and tacky. It doesn't feel very good at all. And another fine thing that I find annoying is this ridiculously long wire connecting the throttle to the joystick. I guess it is handy if you did want to play with the throttle on one side of the room and the joystick on the other. I don't really see why you'd want to do that. So the ridiculously long wire, I don't really see the need for it, but there it is. So overall it looks quite good. Generally the build quality is okay as well, but it does have some letdowns and some disappointing features. Now in terms of gameplay, what you may not heard of already is the large dead zone, which the stick suffers from. And what I'm going to do, I've already got Ace Combat 6 loaded up on the TV over there, and what I'm going to try and do is show you how the dead zone affects the gameplay. So if I just try and position this camera in a spot where you can see the stick and the TV set at the same time. Okay, that should do. Okay, basically what the dead zone refers to is when you're actually playing the game, the area immediately surrounding the joystick isn't sensitive to any movement. So if you watch the plane on the TV screen, as I'm moving up and down, and as I'm moving left and right, and in circular motion, it doesn't detect any movement whatsoever. It's only when I move up, down, left, and right in quite a violent way that it actually detects I'm doing anything. So I'll try and give you a better view of this. I'm just going to try and correct it so I don't crash. You can see there, wiggling around, not doing anything at all. Okay, just try and pause. Okay, as you can see and understand, that's a very annoying feature, very big problem, and it doesn't mean that you can't do sensitive small adjustments to your aeroplane. It just means that it's a lot more difficult to do them, and why that dead zone is there, I have no idea whatsoever. Another major disappointment is the fact that it's not wireless, as you can see with the very long wire going all the way to the console. With this generation of consoles and accessories, wireless connectivity is standard really, and for this not to be wireless is quite a big letdown as well. Another problem is that there's no force feedback or any vibration whatsoever. So, I was expecting when you're going at high speeds or doing a high G-turn, the throttle and the flight stick will shake and shudder. Similarly, when you crash or if you get hit by a missile or enemy fire, you'll feel that through the joystick. You don't get any of that. And again, that's pretty unforgivable. With this standard and this generations of consoles and accessories, it's pretty much standard now. Every accessory's got it, and for this not to, at the price that it's available for, is very disappointing. To actually use the sticks, it is very cool. They are fun to use. They do basically do a good job of making an average game, Ace Combat 6, into a more fun, interesting and enjoyable one. But overall, they just don't do it for me, I'm afraid. So to sum it up, the sticks are cool and fun to use. However, all they do is just take an average game and make it a little bit more interesting. It's not as well made as most of the 360 accessories, such as the 360 wireless wheel that I've reviewed before. The problems with it, such as the large dead zone, a lack of vibration and force feedback, is a big disappointment as well. Because it is limited edition, it's very rare, very expensive, and I would say it's just not worth the money, especially considering that it is actually a lot easier to control the planes with the D-pad, the standard control pad. So that's my review. Sorry for not showing off more gameplay footage, but I'm running out of time. Hope you found it useful, and overall, it's good, fun, but really not worth the money.